Good morning. Welcome once again to our wisdom discussion. I hope you are enjoying yourself. If you are, please make sure you like, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you send these clips to a friend somewhere who needs to grow in wisdom, needs to benefit from wisdom, needs to develop an understanding of wisdom. Today we are in Proverbs chapter 2, verse 1 says, "My child, will you treasure my wisdom?" Absolutely amazing. Will you treasure the wisdom of God? You know, how important is wisdom to you? How valuable is wisdom to you? I know last week we were talking about agreeing with wisdom. And to a certain extent, if we are to agree with wisdom, we must value wisdom. We must treasure wisdom. And in Proverbs chapter 2, he says, will you treasure my wisdom? Then and only then will you acquire it. And only if you accept my advice and hide it within you, will you succeed. So it's only when you treasure wisdom that you acquire wisdom. You know, wisdom is sort of like, and that's why I really agree, especially when you read the book of Proverbs, the King James, you see that wisdom is presented as a lady, you know, and sometimes I feel like wisdom hides, you know, wisdom hides behind a pillar somewhere, wisdom hides behind a chair somewhere, wisdom hides because wisdom wants to know how intent are you on acquiring her. Wisdom wants to know how serious you are about pursuing her. And if we are not serious about pursuing wisdom, then we will not acquire wisdom. And that's why she says here that if you treasure wisdom, then and only then will you acquire it. How important is wisdom to you? You know, we attract what we value. If we attract also what we are, but we attract what we value. If we value pearls, then that's what we'll attract into our lives. If we value men of character, then that's what we'll attract into our lives. If we value things that are not valuable in the eyes of God, then that's also what we will attract into our lives. If we value wisdom, then that's what we'll begin to attract. Wisdom will begin to respond to us. Wisdom will begin to come to us. Wisdom will begin to be attracted to us. But notice here in verse 2, he says, treasuring wisdom is not enough. He says, so train your heart to listen when I speak. There are some certain practical things that we need to do over and above treasuring wisdom. We need to move to the next stage. Do something practical about what you value. And that is train your heart to do what? To listen when I speak. If a man loves a woman and that woman is important to him, then he will do something about it. You know, the man cannot say that I love this woman and is busy hiding behind corners and not communicating. I think some of you have been in the church for a while. You know, this folk who says, you know, I love sister so-and-so and both of them are single, but he's not willing to do anything about it. Wisdom says, if you really treasure me, then do something about it. Train yourself to listen when I speak and open your spirit wide to expand your discernment, and then you can pass it to your sons and to your daughters. If we treasure wisdom, convert that treasure into practical steps, practical things that you do to train yourself, to develop that capacity to listen to the voice of wisdom. Last week when we were talking about this, we said that there are three things that we need to do. The main thing is developing a teachable spirit, but there are three keys to developing a teachable spirit. One of the things when it comes to developing a teachable spirit is being willing to be corrected. The second thing when it comes to developing a teachable spirit is being willing to listen to what others have to say, because wisdom will not always speak to you directly. Wisdom sometimes will speak to you through others. And the third thing in developing a teachable spirit means we must be willing to learn. When we talk about training ourselves to listen to wisdom, wisdom many times comes to us through others, through the people around us. I love what somebody said once. He said that you cannot, there is no monopoly on wisdom. There's no one person who has it all. Apart from Jesus, apart from the Father, apart from the Spirit of wisdom, there's no one person who has it all. So we must be willing to learn from others. We must be willing to receive from others. We must train ourselves to listen to the voice of wisdom. Train yourself. It's not something that will happen overnight. It's not something that will happen at one go. It is something that you need to discipline yourself to do. It's something that you need to develop. It's a skill that you need to sharpen over time. But believe you me, when you sharpen that capacity, that ability to listen to wisdom, then wisdom will come through for you in a big way. In Proverbs chapter 8, wisdom says that she is more precious than rubies. And when we find wisdom, we find wealth, we find long life. There are so many other things that come our way when we find wisdom. So the key thing then is wisdom. That becomes the principal thing. Train yourself to listen to when wisdom speaks. And when you learn to listen to a voice of wisdom, the benefits from listening to a voice of wisdom will be life-changing. Father, I pray for my listener this morning that they'll train themselves to listen to the voice of wisdom. I pray for them that they will treasure wisdom, because it's only by treasuring wisdom that wisdom will respond to them. And I pray that they'll train their ears. You'd wake them up morning by morning. You'd give them the ear of the learned, that they would hear what the Spirit of wisdom is saying to them about their day, about their journey, about the things that they need to do. We bless you and we honor you for wisdom. Your word says that wisdom is the principal thing, and with all you're getting, get understanding. Thank you for the wisdom of God. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen and amen.